4 skills that any manager who is dealing with people need to master. What are those? Number 1, assertive communication, giving constructive feedback. Third, working with cross-cultural teams. And 4th is delegating the work. Now these are very simple things, but anybody who is migrated from an individual contributor role to a management role finds it very difficult to do it. Now what is the good news? That it is a learnable skill. Let me explain to you how these 4 traits are developed through a case study. One of my clients he got promoted to the management role recently, and the challenge he was facing was, first thing I'll talk about cross-cultural working. What is the problem when you work with a cross-cultural team? Now he has grown up in India, and once you grow up in India, the way we are grown up, we find very difficult to contradict somebody who is senior to us, because we find we cannot say no to them, or we cannot give a contrarian view to them. It becomes very difficult. And he was working with a team in US who was the manager in US was a debate-oriented person. He was okay to have a debate, he was okay to put your point across, contradict and have a discussion, but he was very uncomfortable to do that. That brings him to the point number 2, there is assertive communication, where you can communicate your point strongly without offending. So he was struggling in that area. Third point he was struggling was, delegation was a big challenge for him. So whenever he used to delegate his work, the team member who was working will not complete the work as per his expectation. And due to deadline pressure, he used to feel, when if I delegate them, it is more wastage of time, I have to train them, it takes me more time, rather if I do it, it is a 15 minutes work. Now that mindset of his was coming from the individual contributor. Now as an individual contributor, thinking like this is okay, but when there are 15 team members in your team, you cannot do everybody's work in 15 minutes. Your whole day will go away in just doing the work. Now when are you going to make strategy? When are you going to work around new ideas? You cannot. You need free time to bring new ideas to table, to make strategies so that your project can run faster. Because somebody at a managerial role, his role is not just to do the task done. He has some other things also which needs time. So he was struggling in all those areas. And that's where our coaching program started. So what did I do? The first thing I do, step number 1, I did an assessment to identify what is his personality type. And what we found was his personality type was having steady, which is sensitivity point, and another side he was very compliant. Now steady and compliant personalities, the biggest challenge they face is they will find very difficult to put their point across effectively because they do not want to mess up the relationship. So I started training him in emotional intelligence and effective communication. I started giving him what is the best way to give feedback. So I gave him a 4-step algorithm. I'm just giving a brief outline. That first, when you're trying to give feedback, first and foremost, check your vibrations. If your vibrations are coming negative, relax and make it positive, then go for talking. First thing. Second, do not have any prejudices. Third, before you give a feedback, make sure that you understand the whole situation. So do not go directly, this is wrong. Ask them, do you feel it is right? And do you think it is the perfect way of doing it? And is there any scope of improvement? Ask the basic question. If you feel that he is doing something miserable, then ask him, was there any reason? Because I find the quality of work which you do is really good, but this was having some missing link. Is there something which is missing, something is bothering you in your life? Ask this question. Because what happens, many times when you go and attack on people, later on you realize that he was in a difficult situation and you feel embarrassed, why did I say it? So this is part of emotional intelligence. I started training him how to give feedback. Then I started training him in assertive communication. In assertive communication, what happens? There's a way to put your point across. I'll give one example. Let's say you want to put your point across to somebody that it is wrong. So you say, your idea is great, but I don't know, I see a different side of the story. Shall I share my opinion? What will the person say? Yeah, please go ahead and share your opinion. These are a few things I'm giving. How do you work? So if you are a mini manager and you're struggling in delegating or giving feedback or assertive communication, then let me tell you, these are learnable skill. You can learn it too. So if you are in that phase of life, you are struggling with this area, drop me a message. My expertise and experience can help you get these things very fast and you can grow in your career in a super fast way. It was great talking to you. I'll talk to you in my next video with another case study and another new content. Thank you so much.